Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well and staying safe. As you can see, I'm doing a lot of redecorating. I have a new avatar. Actually, this is an avatar in progress. And I am trying to move my entire 3D work over to my PC, which is a little more involved than I expected. But what I am doing is revamping how I do my recordings, and it's been 6 months since I've started redoing my channel, so it's time for a revamp and everything else. This is still a Mixamo figure, Fuse figure. This is actually one of my custom heads. I think you can pretty much buy this one on my itch.io store, at least for a little while longer. And this is the standard Mixamo blend shapes, but I am working on some figures with some new blend shapes, which are not ready to show you, so I'm keeping that under wraps until I get a little better at what I am doing. Until then, I just have something quick to show you today. FaceCap got a nice little update. Where is FaceCap? Ta-da! FaceCap got a nice update this week, a couple of days ago. And it actually had an update. It's been updated like almost every month, but like the updates didn't really affect me, so I didn't bother to tell you about them. But this one actually affects me, and also in the process of building my new figure with more iPhone compatible blend shapes, which I know I'm doing a big tease and a not reveal, but in the process of doing that, I have new appreciation for these new features, so I just want to I don't get anything from promoting Facebook. This is Facebook. Ugh. Yeah, kill me if I ever promote Facebook. Fuck Facebook. In the comments on one of my videos, I was talking about FaceCap, and another YouTuber posted we should be able to save configuration files. And I was like, yeah, what else we should be able to do is we should be able to, there should just be a button that, resets all the settings to 0 when you hold your face still. Just hold your face still, hit the button, and, FaceCap resets all the values. So, we were both like, yeah, both of those are good ideas. Well, that's actually happened. That's now a feature. So let me show you. So in the configuration, in the configuration panel, there's this new, there's a couple of buttons. There's this automatic button, and that's the one that resets all the settings to read as 0 when you hold your face still. So you just hold your face still, you hit the automatic button. I'm not going to do that now because it's going to reset everything. But also next to it is this configuration importer exporter, and I'm sure it's just the text file saved, in the app, and I guess you can, I guess you can probably edit those. I haven't looked at the app, I haven't hooked up my phone to my computer to open these files and see what they do, but I'm sure you can guess what a configuration file looks like. Anyway, the point is that when I use these, let me just cancel out a second. What I wanted to say, and why this is so super useful, when I was suggesting, the automatic feature, and this other YouTuber who commented on my video were suggesting saving the configuration profiles, I was thinking the reason that we need this is because my face doesn't match the iPhone's idea of what my neutral face should look like. That was what I was assuming. But now that I'm making this, I'll do it one more time. Now that I'm making this figure with the blend shapes that aren't ready to show you yet, I realized that, wow, no, it's a little bit about your face not matching the iPhone's idea of what a perfect face is, but mostly it's that you need to reconfigure for the figure that you're using and the blend shapes that it uses. And let me go back. Okay, so there's one other feature that I want to show you, is this background. So if you are a streamer who, you just want to bring in this video feed, like, you can key that out. I use the black one because it's like less distracting. So what you need to know is that since I'm using these Mixamo blend shapes, there are... Okay, so look at the head on my iPhone and look at the head on this fuse figure, and you'll notice that, like, my lips aren't closed. The one on the left, which is the fuse figure, is doing what my face is doing, and I'm overdriving or underdriving so many settings on the iPhone in FaceCap that the gray gargoyle head on my phone does not look like what my face is doing. Like, everything is like super exaggerated. The mouth is like always open. The teeth are like, bared like a monster. And that's because I'm using FaceCap to compensate for the differences in the Mixamo blend shapes. And when I'm using the experimental blend shapes that are looking more like the iPhone, it looks exactly like what the gray gargoyle head is doing. So it's a lot more accurate. But the point is that I need a different configuration file, and I don't want to sit there and like reprogram everything. Obviously, who would, right? So this is a great new feature, especially if you're using different figures. So I kind of feel like most of my Mixamo Fuse figures are going to be pretty similar. I've done some experiments, and depending on the size of the mouth, depending on the thickness of the lips, or the size of the eyes, most of the Mixamo blend shapes are pretty similar in my FaceCap configuration file. But when I switched over to that other figure, that it's the same body, the same head, the same mesh, it just has different blend shapes. It has my experimental wannabe iPhone blend shapes. It's a completely different look. And even though it's the same geometry, the blend shapes make it move completely differently. And so I will be able to, save a Mixamo blend shape configuration on FaceCap. And as I get my figure, the new figure finished with my iPhone blend shapes, and I'll do a separate video kind of showing how I'm using Wrap 3 to kind of put that together. But I'm not going to show you that this time. I'll save that for another one. It's pretty involved, and it actually... I'm not going to complain about what I'm doing with my work, because the world is just, on fire right now. And wow, Florida and Texas, sucks to be you. I'm so glad I left Texas when I was a minor and never fucking looked back. In fact, I used to say you couldn't pay me to go back to Texas, and then I got a gig that actually paid me to go back to Texas. I can't say that anymore. So anyway. Alright, blah, blah, blah. That's... I'll probably cut that out. No one needs to hear that crap. But, so Anyway, what I want to say is thank you to the developer of FaceCap, Beneflect, because you are listening to your customers. I'm not saying that you actually like read my comments, my YouTube comments, and like added features because of that. It was basically like a lot of people who are using FaceCap probably saying the same things and seeing the same needs. Especially if you're using figures with different blend shapes, you're really gonna need those different configurations. So basically, you're gonna have a FaceCap configuration for each figure that you use, and I think that's good. It just shows me that Beneflect is listening to customers, and he's still the guy who's got it going on. He's one of us, and he's obviously like using this feature himself because he sees what needs to happen. And a few people have like recommended some other systems on my YouTube comments, which is great. Thank you. Recommending other systems, and I'm always curious to find out about those. One person recommended something called HyperFace. And, you know, I don't know if they actually worked for that company because it is a paid subscription model, and it actually wasn't that useful. And basically, if you're not making your own figures, you're not using Unity and programming it all yourself, then this FaceCap is still the easiest and the cheapest. And, oh, there's another feature that was added like a month ago, where you can load your own avatar into FaceCap. He released an exporter for Maya and an exporter for Blender. And oh my god, you guys, I'm starting to use Blender so that I can like add in those new... And let me tell you, I'm like wading in the shallow end of Blender, the shallow end of the pool of Blender, because I'm not jumping off the diving board. It's a very annoying program with a lot of like hotkeys. And you know what? As an amateur programmer developer myself, I know what putting all of your functions as hotkeys means. You just didn't bother to make an interface for it, and that's what Blender feels like a lot for me. So it is a little rough going, and I'll put that in another video too, shall I? I have so many things stacked up, even though I haven't been very communicative this past couple of months because, you know, disaster world. It just kind of keeps me wondering what needs to happen. Wait, so, alright, so let me look at my notes. Oh yeah, so you can add your own avatars. I think it's pretty limited. And you can't export the avatar back into like another program, so maybe a little limited. Like if I was streaming and, you know, I just wanted to use the head on the green background like I showed you a second ago, and I had my own avatar, oh, so I'm like doing up this whole setting with my new kind of streaming show. Like I'll be able to do whoop. And now I'm ready for, you know, some kind of background tutorial is the desktop from my PC. And like I said, everything's just in flux right now. I got a new figure. I'm trying to set shit up on the PC. And that is like... On top of that, I'm trying to learn Blender. And it's just a lot going on. So if I've been quiet, it's not because... you know, it's not because I don't have things to show. It's just they're not ready. One more. Shit's in progress. Can I tell you? Shit's in progress. Anyway, I'm gonna switch over to Unity. Because there's another update on Beneflect's GitHub for the Unity Remapper for this live tool. So let me jump over to Unity and I'll show you that. Okay, so now I'm in Unity, and the other thing that I wanted to show you is if you go on Beneflect's GitHub, which is under the name Hizzlehoff, and you get the live remapper tool. There's only two things that you need, and it's pretty seamlessly easy to add to your existing Unity project. You don't have to start with his starter project. And that's OSC from the developer EXT. So OSC, it's on the Unity asset store, but the most up-to-date one is on GitHub. And it's included in Beneflex Unity project, but you can get the current one directly. And the only thing that you really need from Beneflex GitHub is the Remapper tool, and it is now a component that can live, well, it can live on any game object, but this is so much better. Before, it was like a scriptable object, which is basically, it was like the remapper was a file that you had to configure, like a configure file that's lived in your project. So to update it, you had to like update the project. It wasn't just like scene oriented. And this is so much easier because now this lives in your scene as a component, so it actually lives on a game object. I put it on the figure, obviously, because that's pretty logical, but you don't have to do that. You could have it on a manager and then change the figures. Like so I have like my figure, the other figure. So Unity is not loving me. But anyway, so I have this other figure, and that's just like a hotkey that I can just like, swap out the figure, and I have a different configuration remapper on that figure. So basically I can just instantiate my figures with the remapper component on it. And that's so much better because now the component is aware of scene instances. So this is a big improvement. If you watch some of my other videos where I've used the Unity tool skin and you can add blend shapes on the fly, you can kind of reconstruct your figures on the fly, combine meshes, and this sort of thing. And when the remapper was a project scriptable object, it had to reference a prefab somewhere in your project. This one is instance aware, so you can kind of build the blend shapes on your figure in a scene on the fly. And like, for example, here I combined the mesh using skin, and so now I can use this as my blend shape configure mesh. Obviously I'm not going to do that. Ooh, oh. Oh, I never looked at that before. What did I do? Did I break my figure? I'm an idiot. Go back inside there. Maybe you shouldn't come to me for tutorials, y'all. Alright, so let me get back to here and close this distracting blend shape window. What I want to show you is, oops, this, my configure file. And again, Unity needs to catch up with me. Alright. So why is this better as a configuration file? Because I can use skin to update the figure at runtime. So for instance, maybe I have a figure with all of my blend shapes on it, but I don't have the character blend shapes. That's something that I create in a character design tool, some aspect of my game or whatever. I have options, and I can bake out that as a blend shape delta mesh, and then combine it into my figure as a new blend shape using skin. And when the remapper was a scriptable object in the project, it would never see those new blend shapes. Now, because it reads this mesh as an instance, it reads all of the updates, so I can add blend shapes on the fly. It's a pretty advanced topic, but you know, this is good stuff. Good stuff. The other thing that that is different is on my old avatar, I was using an IK. I think I was using Bio IK from the Unity Asset Store. And, you know, as I turned the head, I made it, like, influence the neck and the torso just a bit. Now, this is also built into this configurator. You know, you can actually... So it has, like, a little bit of an... It's not really an IK. It's a transform. So one of the things that does is it messes up my eye look. Now, you see my eyes are... Like, I'm looking at my iPhone and I'm turning my head and my eyes are just going off to the hinterlands, and that's a problem with using the eyes as transforms. In the new experimental figure, one more tease. This is fixed because I'm using the iPhone's blend shapes to control the eyes, so it's some improvements. But what you want to watch out for is that using these are just simple transforms. It's not a true IK, and you will end up looking places that you did not intend to look if you do this. And also, you notice that my eyes can, like, roll completely out of my head. And with the blend shape eyes for the iPhone, that doesn't happen. The eyes are a little more constrained. Anyway, yeah, so this is great. More praise for FaceCap, and the Remapper is a free add-on component, so this is just gonna make life easier. And that's it. I think that's all I have to share with you today. You don't have to like this because I know this is kind of a mess, but definitely subscribe if you want to see my misadventures in Blender and building these iPhone blend shapes. If this is something that you're curious about, I will show you all the flaws and all the flies at my picnic. I think it's ants at a picnic. Flies in the ointment. I will show you all my ants in my ointment. Stay safe, guys, especially if you're in Texas or Florida or Arizona. Please move. Or vote for someone else.